Christy and Mike. Can they pin down the treasure? They just might. Tune in to find out Monday nights. K-Pro Cow Powwow. K-Pro Cow Powwow wow. It's the K-Pro Cow Powwow.
Hey, everybody. It's Monday night, K-Pro Cow Powwow. It is October 25th. Thanks to Ben for coming on the show. I've been playing poker all weekend. Is there any new community I should know about? Is there anything going on?
I'm pretty sure we got PowerPoint for that, right, K-Pro?
Exactly. Oh, no, we do have PowerPoint. It is raining hard here in Vegas, so if we lose power, wouldn't that be a coincidence? But we shouldn't lose power, hopefully. Yeah. We do have a PowerPoint, so thank you to K-Pro. Remind everybody to thumbs the video up, super chat's on. You guys know all that stuff. And yeah, tonight we're going to talk about the entity and the things that have transpired over, what, the last 2 weeks, I think it is?
Yes.
And once you
No, just the last week. We're going to catch everybody up. I already told everybody on Facebook and Thor. We already had the first week. We did a show last Monday. We're picking it up from last Monday to now. Everything that transpired, a few opinions, and then there's some unintended consequences that might have come up that I think we need to get to the community, because I'm not doing it secretly anymore. I'm not keeping secrets anymore. I did make some commitments. I will hold to those commitments from now on. I think anyone who calls me, we do it live on air, because I don't want this anymore. This is stupid. This is ridiculous. This is not needed. This is crap.
Okay. Well, we're all going to have our own opinion on that tonight, aren't we? And you guys will try and get to all the questions in the chat, because I'm sure there'll be a bunch. And yeah, that's what it is. Ben, what do you got to say before we jump into this?
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Everybody's talking about pressing a red button, so I don't get it. But hey, let's see if it gets pressed tonight.
I'm lifting my food lid.
and I'm apologizing up front. The people I piss off, don't call me after this. I'm checking out.
Yeah,
I'm checking out, and you can go to Ben's channel and curse my name. That's fine. Sorry. I'm sorry that you're mad at me. I'm telling it right now up front. I'm sorry you're angry at me. You just need to know I'm a damaged human being that needs to get this off my chest for my own well-being.
There it is. I think that's an honest opinion from K-Pro. So there it is. We're just going to put it all out there tonight. What you guys in the community do with it is up to you.
Up to you.
Yeah. Okay. Should we jump right to the PowerPoint? Is there anything else to talk about?
Jump up, and yeah, let's just go. I have a picture. No, show the picture I sent you.
I thought you were going to say that. All right,
yeah,
let me find it.
Yeah, show that picture, because sometimes you have to wonder who really wants you to do the right thing. This is from Facebook. I'm talking about hitting the red button, and look what there's a guy we all know and love. Well, we know him most of the time. We love him. Copper Dan. What did Copper Dan say? What does that say at the bottom?
Press that effing button hard. That's what it says. Oh, we all know Copper Dan's a troll.
Copper Dan asked for it. He asked for this tonight. Remember that.
And Copper Dan has a statement that I will read at the end of the PowerPoint. He said, instead of being on the show, he sent a statement. So we will read his statement. And here we go. Let's get 100 likes, everybody.
Yeah, there's 221 of you. You better
smash that like button.
You know, all right, give me a second.
Yeah, did we say super chat is on, and like and subscribe, and then go to Treasure Warriors so we can all curse later.
Are you going live after this, Ben, or no?
Yeah, I think
probably. You know what it is.
I don't want to be honest. I loved not going live today, like during the day, but yeah, I think so. People will want to talk and ask questions.
Yeah, we're gonna keep
that red button wasn't big enough, or it was too big. You're gonna get sued, or whatever. Who cares?
The shiny red candy-like button. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Milan. Tomorrow, gonna make a video tomorrow to talk about World Series of Poker. Not tonight. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Thumbs up for K-Pro's PowerPoint. I just don't know why I'm showing the taskbar, which really bothers me, but we're gonna have to live with it. All right. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Hasn't been sold. Red button Monday. This could be a recurring thing. The entity revealed, and has the treasure chest been sold once again? Well, does that sum it up, K-Pro? Is that everything in this PowerPoint?
No, no, we got something because it's called unintended consequences. Some things happen that this started with, and now there's an unintended consequence. And I just have a question about it. I think it's important that the community knows why some of these shenanigans happened. And wait, let's get to the story because there's a lot of you that said I did not watch the 700-hour stream that Ben broke some record on. What in the hell is going on? So let's start not from the beginning. It's like not 1902 here. Let's start from last Monday. A lot's transpired. Let's get everybody up to speed, and then that red button is coming out. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Next slide.
Next slide, please.
Okay. This week's events. Dun, dun,
it's been 1 week. 1 week of
PJ. Okay. For anybody who doesn't know,
long year
stands for Packer Jack. Just so we're not talking about PJ, whatever that cartoon is. Packer Jack. Okay, everybody. All right. Yeah. Packer Jack information on Thursday.
Okay, so we don't even need to worry about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're jumping all the way to Thursday. So basically the last 4 days. So the last 4 days, go ahead, Mike. So we're starting with on Thursday, Packer Jack. This is the summary that a lot of you guys come for of not the long shows. And I love the long shows. I'm a part of the long shows. I'm just saying we're going to keep it short and concise, and Mike is going to read slides. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Packer Jack was on the show last Monday, so we're not going to recap that. That's probably what you just said, Gabriel. So this is Thursday of last week. Another offer was made, and the entity needed to meet that bid amount, or the treasure chest would not be sold to him. Packer Jack asked Jack to do the right thing. I thought we were talking about Spike Lee movies, but we weren't. Packer Jack said it twice, do the right thing. Ben gets it. The entity attempted to purchase just some of the items from the treasure chest, and Jack declined. I'm sure the autobiography was one, in my opinion.
Yes.
Packer Jack gave advice to the entity to make a deadline of Saturday noon, or the offer is off the table. And this happened. And the lawyer responded he had received the communication. Is that Jack's lawyer? Or we don't know.
Jack's lawyer, yeah. Tom.
Yeah, Jack's lawyer responded he had received the communication. And the entity confirmed with a secondary source the treasure chest had been sold. Not to the entity, I'm assuming, right? Not to the entity.
That is correct.
How we understand it. Okay, so that's what happened. That's what happened Thursday. Well, since then, we've had a couple other events transpire.
And if you guys have been in all the streams of Treasure Warriors, like these first 20 minutes, like go get a few drinks in you, because it's going to be all review. And Ben is here to correct in case anything happens. Now we're on Sunday or Saturday. We're like 48 hours ago, guys. 48 hours ago, and shito hits the fano. Okay, go ahead.
That was Saturday?
That
Just
was
want to
Saturday.
make sure, Albert, thanks for bringing it up. This is not the source. This is the entity. Two different things, two different topics, two different people. Wanted to make sure that was clear. Okay, and then Amy.
There's Turd Source.
It was good to see Amy again, wasn't it? Oh, after so long. Okay, so this is Amy went live on her show, and you guys can go watch that. It's still there. And a summary is that Amy said, said, Packer Jack unfriended and blocked Justin. That statement was later corrected. That was inaccurate, and Justin gave Amy misinformation.
Or so otherwise known as a lie, like a lie.
Or miscommunication.
Oh, no,
he didn't say no. Miscommunication is another word. He said.
But I give them credit that they did correct it after the fact. They did come out and say, that's right, that Packer Jack did not unfriend and block Justin.
Yeah, Justin's
I wonder if they had to.
through this. I wonder if he's
easy. We'll get there. Whoever the entity is has made a rough life for Justin for the past week and a half.
Aww.
At the same time, Justin did not want to jeopardize the purchase he was trying to negotiate. Justin did not want to put hate on Packer Jack. Well, I don't think that's happened at all. Reality is Justin has no idea who the entity is. Justin is not sure what is going on, and hopefully what Justin says will make you understand what is happening behind the scenes and have the community understand a lot more.
Yes.
Okay, that was what on Amy Seeks.
Amy started, and it's only about 6 minutes, guys. You should watch it. So Amy was like the first 2 minutes, and then Justin read his script next.
And then this is Justin's portion of the show. Whoops, sorry. Justin says he is not the person who's been messaging Packer Jack. He is not the entity. He has not been the source of Packer Jack information. It seems counterintuitive to imperil my own negotiations by leaking that sort of information. I actually agree with that one, which is why I'm really scratching my head over this whole thing.
I agree. He is an idiot.
I didn't say that. I just said I don't understand what happened here either. But anyway, I digress. He has not received 100% confirmation that the treasure chest has been sold. True that he engaged with Jack to purchase the treasure chest. He presented two options: purchase the higher value items with majority of items to go to auction. It is what he thinks Forrest would have wanted, or purchase the treasure chest in its entirety, requested where Forrest Fenn wanted the treasure chest to reside, maybe leading into a museum.
By the way, that confused me, because
what's that?
Was the plan? And I'm not making fun of the plan. I'm purely asking. Was it he was going to put it in a museum first and then rehide it? I thought it was rehide. Where does a museum play into that?
Well, and I don't know.
Loan it for a short period of time.
Right. I'm just guessing. Maybe he would do the museum thing, give searchers who wanted to see it, and then rehide it.
I would have signed up to go see it.
Yeah, of course. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. So no, I think it's a cool idea. Like I said, I wasn't knocking it. I think that would have been dope. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he get to the part that he wants people to buy it in auction and all of us to spend money on auctions?
Craig Carter with the $7.77 super chat. Thank you, Craig. We appreciate it.
For the community, he wants it to go to auction for the community. Is that
weeks ago?
Okay. By the way, I decided I wanted to one up you today with.
Thank you for the sponsor. Oh yeah.
Everybody's drinking but me. Everybody.
Oh, you got aluminum can. Oh, blah.
Weeks ago was verbally accepted in 24 hours. Took Jack at his word. Weeks ago, it was so his offer weeks ago was accepted within 24 hours, and he took Jack at his word. The agreement was later rescinded when a higher offers emerged. At that point, not to enter the bidding war. Potential to get the treasure chest to the museum dwindled. People in the community thought he was the person negotiating, a smart community. He felt harassment. A major tuber threatened him. Ben, cut it out.
Ben. Actually, people have been saying Ben. That's not okay.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not going to speak to it because I'm not going to speak to it because I have no idea. He felt harassment. A major tuber threatened him. His partner was on the driveway and had searchers at his home. Neighbors contacted, which is wrong.
If that happened, that's totally wrong. My face at that is purely none of that was sparked by anything said on my channel ever. And frankly, the insinuations were that another, dare I say, entity in the YouTube world was responsible for showing up at Amy's drive. Or I'm sorry, hold on.
Justin's
Ashley says, Ben, you're a major tuber. Hey, we can make
right. But my point is they were trying to blame this other YouTuber like almost immediately, like it was a gut reaction. Oh well, it has to be this person, and I was going, whoa. Yeah. We don't know. It was a mailman. Anyway,
we'll get to that point. He spent the majority of the weekend telling family and friends to take precautions. True, to hide the treasure chest in the future with purchase, anonymity, and could choose and have time. Time is no longer on his side. He can't prepare his family. Is at risk. Stark realization. He can't fulfill the dreams and hopes and aspirations by creating a treasure hunt. Potential died this week. Sorry. 3D Bronze says, no reason to fight. Just get a bronze chest from 3D. 3dbronze.com, everybody. All right, there you go. Thanks, 3D Bronze. Nice. So this is what Justin said. And again, don't take our word for it. Go to Amy Seek's YouTube channel, and you can watch it for yourself.
Go to Amy Seek's. Yep.
And then the Amy, the final part was crying, was emotional. A lot more happening behind the scenes than the community knew about. Hopefully gives sense of knowing what is happening. More information comes to light. Justin will use the venues to let the community know. And she is behind Justin, not the posers who turn on him left and right. Now, I will say this. I don't think Amy really knew what was going on. I don't think those were crocodile tears, just my opinion. But I think after tonight's show, maybe she'll have a better understanding of what's going on. We'll see.
I think initially I thought it was acting because of what happened before when she was giggling and made it seem like it was Justin who met with Jack, and then it ended up being Copper Dan. Once you pretend and stage stuff, you think maybe it was pretended and staged. At this point, with some both private information, and it's her private information to share.
Yeah,
she was shocked that Justin's the entity. She's shocked that Justin's the entity.
What if sums it up?
Shocking.
Positivity always triumphs over negativity.
Boom.
So I actually thought,
I'm not going to comment on
right.
On
I just actually thought Amy was crying when she saw the cone on Tucker's head. It's just making light, everybody. That's all. All right, sorry. Here we go. Let's go.
But I will say I do think she was lied to, and so if she was lied to, then that explains a lot.
And you know what? That's between them two. As far as I'm concerned, that's between them two. Okay, here we go.
Right, but Amy's a major tuber in this. Even if whatever,
and that's the problem.
Like hookers or groups or whatever, when people get deceived, that's why this is important to bring out, because Amy was sitting there saying, people are posers if you're not with Justin, and throw them under the bus. She didn't know she was being set up. But keep going.
Right.
Well,
Nobody's a posy poser here.
I heard Amy's the one that threatened him. Hey.
God, Mike, back to back.
All right, here we go. All right. Comparison. Now, if you're still like, well, who's the entity? Here's a comparison of what the entity has said and that Justin has confirmed in that video. K-Pro did a very nice PowerPoint showing the similarities. So this is the entity versus Packer Jack over the last 2 weeks. Made a private offer to Jack. And every one of these, Justin has confirmed, and the entity relayed the information to Packer Jack. So
and
made
Packer
a private
Jack
offer.
had shared. So,
right.
I mean, it's, yeah. And they're identical. I don't think you need them.
Made a private offer to Jack. It was a verbal offer. Took Jack at his word. Accepted by Jack. Jack rescinded due to a competing offer. Tried to purchase some items, but Jack declined. Not sure if it's sold, but was told indirectly it has been. He was going to rehide the treasure chest for Chase 2.0, and he will no longer be doing a treasure hunt. So if it's not Justin, I mean, what's going on? It's pretty convincing that those are.
Well, I think with Justin,
aligned.
If we believe both Justin and Packer Jack, there's two identical people with two identical timelines, with two identical scenarios, identically searchers that had enough money to purchase it, screwed it up, lost it, was going to rehide it, tried to buy identical situations, and Justin says two different people.
Lou B says, what's a big YouTuber? 1K, 10K. Blue, you're the biggest YouTuber out of us all. Check out Lou B on YouTube, everybody.
Yeah,
he is our pilot searcher friend. Okay, sorry. All right, let's go back into it.
Numbers are phony, people.
Packer Jack on Saturday. He was touched by Justin's video.
Hold on a second. Packer Jack was what we call a man and actually went on video to respond on Ben's show. That's one thing I didn't make clear here, what a real man is, because not all these people are. So I want to make it clear. Packer Jack said, I have nothing to hide, so I'm going to come on air. Go ahead. Now you can go.
Okay. Packer Jack was touched by Justin's video and the emotions of Amy. Harassment is not okay, and I think all of us can agree here. He seems surprised by this portion of the video, in my opinion. That's K-Pro's opinion. He's a man of his word, and he will not name names, and he won't confirm if Justin or anyone else is the entity. And I want to make that very clear. Packer Jack has never said who the entity is or was. And he's made it clear that he's not going to say the name because he made a promise to this person that he wouldn't. So all this that we're putting together is Packer Jack has never confirmed if Justin is or is not. Okay? So let's make that clear right now. Okay. Copper Dan, we're going to talk about. Copper Dan was not holding back. He was on a little YouTube channel called the Treasure Warriors. Maybe you guys heard of it. And in that video, Copper Dan says Justin is the entity. This was Sunday on Treasure Warriors. So you want me to go through each one of these real quick?
Oh, yes, my friend. Yes.
So remember, PJ is Packer Jack, CD is Copper Dan. Copper Dan is confused and hurt, feels betrayed, thought good judgment character. He was wrong. Trouble believing this. This person's professionalism. Again, he was wrong. He feels terrible for Packer Jack. Packer Jack's a friend. Justin is a friend, and he's not sure anymore what to think. Shit just don't make sense. It didn't need to happen this way. I think that's a direct quote from Copper Dan. The entity / Justin can talk to him directly. This didn't need to happen. Justin is the entity. Packer Jack does not deserve this. Justin's intentions were pure at first, and this is spun out of control. Why target Packer Jack? Packer Jack is not happy. We are owed an explanation by Justin. Copper Dan said to Justin, don't fucking lie to me. I heard that part. Whether Dan
wait. Let's say that one again. Justin, don't effing lie to me. That's right. Copper Dan's words 24 hours ago.
There is damning evidence that Justin talked, not just sent messages, but talked to Packer Jack.
Copper Dan is saying there's
Copper Dan is saying that. Yeah. This is all from Treasure Warriors. And again, that video is up. You guys can watch it yourself. Ben, do you have something that hasn't been shared that makes Justin the entity? And Copper Dan says, ask K-Pro. I don't even know what that is. Justin Posey was a class act. This doesn't make sense. This is not him, not at all. And Justin needs to come clean. And that was from Treasure Warriors over the weekend.
What's up? Justin needs to come clean. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Copper Dan in his own words on video. Those were all quotes from him. Those weren't made up. Those weren't. Yeah.
And I don't think Copper Dan's going to deny it. But again, I'm not speaking for Copper Dan. We're just putting what he put in a video, just like we put what Amy and Justin said in a video. We're just
these are facts only. Facts that can be verified. Facts. These are all factual. 100.
All right. Now we're getting down to it.
Yeah.
The evidence.
Get out of the facts soon.
The evidence. Hang on.
Okay, let me take this one. Let me take this one. So you guys remember Turd. I will remember Turd forever. I remember the fool I was made of. I wasn't going to have a Turd 2.0. So I made sure that I did not just take someone's word for it that I think is trusting. I saw a lot of information, emails, text messages, Facebook messages, phone call records, etc. I saw that there was multiple people confirming this. I made sure when things happened, Mike, they knew, they were on speaker. I said, I'm not recording this, but I'm going to have a second person because when I say something, you guys know it's shenanigans. When Mike says something,
shenanigans.
No, it's not bullshit. So I made sure I did my due diligence. And still we're in a turd storm. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Evidence. There is evidence of the following opinion and included are details I was aware of along the way. And this is K-Pro. And that's emails, text messages, Facebook messages, phone call, recordings of phone calls. Others were involved. Copper Dan, Packer Jack, Mike, Tyler, and many others.
Tyler is Ben's best friend from high school. It's amazing.
And let's be very clear, we do not mean Tyler Graybar. Shout out to Tyler, but it's not that Tyler we're talking about. Okay.
Oh no, it would not be that Tyler.
So this is K-Pro's opinion of week 1.
Okay, this is
what
now,
you think happened. This is opinion time, right?
Yeah, this is now a transition from all the facts. There was additional communication I was having. So this is my interpretation of what happened week 1 to end of week 2. We'll do this in 5 minutes, but you will know everything that transpired, 700 reels of tubing film about this, all now in K-Pro's opinion. And there's some extra detail because yes, I was actually going to take out of my own retirement to help Justin. And my money is not just extra. I don't have all of it. I'd have to take out a retirement. You guys are now going to hear that. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, this is all K-Pro's opinion, but she thinks what happened is that Jack all of a sudden needed to sell the chest. Suddenly, something happened that's like Jack needs to sell it. He's waited a year and a half or a year and 2 months, whatever it's been. Justin put in an offer to Jack, and Jack verbally accepted. You said Monday. I don't really know when this was, but that's fine. Whenever
2 weeks ago from today, and that is what I call day 1.
And I mean, if I'm Jack and I need to sell it suddenly, I'm going to reach out to somebody that's already made an offer, which would be Justin.
There's such a backstory to that one.
Let's get to it later. Okay.
Yeah.
Jack referred Justin to his attorney, Tom, and contact tracks were being drawn up. All makes sense to me.
Yep.
Justin, but then this is what doesn't make sense. Justin reaches out to Packer Jack and shares that the sale is imminent. And in my opinion, he picked someone he could easily discount if this got difficult, a relative unknown. You think, why do you say relative unknown? That
a relatively unknown searcher. So if he comes on and Justin says, I'm not the entity, Packer Jack is an unknown, so he could throw him under the bus. And a lot of people automatically, by reputation only, went with Justin rather than the truth.
And then let's backtrack a bit. What I don't think Justin planned on, and frankly, Copper Dan is the one who's hit the button. What he didn't plan on was that a trusted member of the community, and I don't think anyone would doubt Copper Dan. He's not new to the chase.
Right.
A trusted member of the community said, no, it's Justin. Don't fucking lie.
Well, but I in no way think that Justin picked Packer Jack because he was going to switch it on him and deny it. I think that happened later. I don't think that was part of the plan. I think it happened along the way, and I don't understand why, but I don't think there was a motive to do it.
Well,
but that's
I think Minnesota Nice goes a very long way, and if you have a read on someone that says, no matter what happens, even if I screw them over in the course of business, let's say, there's a code, an ethic that they stick to, and I know that they'll stay quiet even if I've screwed them over. I think that's what K-Pro's trying to say. Is that right?
Right.
Sure.
Fair.
Right.
I mean, a closed version of it.
Fair.
Also, Justin picked Packer Jack because he's somebody that could actually help him in negotiation. Amy, and none of us, in my opinion, would be that for him. But anyway, maybe. Again, this is K-Pro's opinion on why Packer Jack got given some information. After 3 days of back and forth, Packer Jack asks if he can share with the community, and Justin agrees without names only. He says you can share it, but no names. Okay, before the contracts are fully executed, and this is Wednesday, Thursday of what, last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
a week
ago,
and a half ago. We're about 10
4
days
days in. The number is how many days in, right? 4 days in.
Correct.
Okay. The treasure chest is in Texas for inventory only, and Justin just happens to live in Texas. It was or is at Heritage Auctions in Dallas. We can confirm that, right? Do we believe that's confirmed?
Packer Jack confirmed it.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So either Packer Jack is lying or his entity was lying, which would be Justin. So possibly.
Right. And then what we believe happened is Jack gets a second bid because he now knows the community is being aware of the treasure chest negotiations and sale. And this is the part that doesn't make sense.
Why would what everyone's asking too, Mike?
Why would Justin give Packer Jack the okay to say it's being sold, everybody? Because now people are going to reach out to Jack and say, "Hey, I want to buy it. How much are you selling it for? I'll raise it up to this much."
Both of them believe, both Justin and Packer Jack believe it was a done deal because it's based on his word and he wouldn't take back his word. In my opinion, that's ludicrous. This is not 1950. You don't do things on a gentleman's handshake. Now, I will be fair. I was talking to Copper Dan about something totally unrelated. And there's a lot of my handshake is my bond. That's all it takes.
Well,
so
I'll
I can see it was a misstep. He was dumb. He didn't get it.
I'll say this in the spirit of the thrill of the chase. Forrest Fenn was a handshake kind of guy. Forrest Fenn would do a deal on a handshake and expect the other person to be bound by it.
Yeah.
But apparently that is not the case with Jack. Yeah.
He said so. I don't know if I believe it fully, but
Again,
also it was a different era. It was also just a different era.
Right.
Yeah,
whatever.
But Forrest Fenn would also take you to court. Just like the guy who wrote the check. He's like, I'll take your check. And then when it didn't clear, he took it to court. So anyway,
exactly.
What we believe, and again, guys, this is opinion, that it was when the info was released by Packer Jack, other people reached out to Jack, and said, "Hey, I want to buy it. I'll offer you more. What's the current offer?" And that's what happened, unfortunately. We believe. Now we go into week 2, and this was last week. Week 2 was last week. Is that right?
10 days ago.
10 days.
Or
okay,
no, 4 days ago. 4 days ago.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
Jack looks at the offer, and he still wanted Justin to get the treasure chest. So he asked him to match the offer. So whoever the other person is that reached out and says, "I'll give you this much," he went back to Justin and he said, "You can still have it, but now it's this much. I got this other offer. You need to match it." And Justin said no, based on principle. Go ahead.
Think about this, and this is what I think is important. You guys know that I'm not super friendly with Jack, and I don't. Jack was good enough to say, "Look, you did this, dude. I have another offer. Give me the other offer, and I'll still give it to you." So Jack, for as many people that were saying Jack's a turd and Jack's terrible, and Jack was right, in my opinion. He still did the right thing and said, "Give me the difference, and it's still yours." And Justin should have said, "My mistakes cost me money. I will just give you the money and do it." And Justin didn't. Jack did the right thing. My opinion.
Or the other possible scenario is that Jack got other offers on his own and came back to Justin and said, "Hey, I have this new offer. You can match it." And then that's why Justin went to Packer Jack to try and release that without actually being the one to release it. Do you guys think that's plausible or no?
No.
Sure, and then they fibbed with the timeline a little bit to cover their butts. Fine,
maybe,
absolutely.
right.
Or it's an embarrassing thing, and Justin just doesn't want to be embarrassed for making a false or an incorrect strategy decision. I don't even know how to word it, but there's a couple of reasons why you would lie about it, and there's a couple of reasons or a couple of different ways how this could have gone down, especially with just a tiny bit of a lie too. So it makes sense.
Who cares?
Okay. Honey, we care. Okay, bro, we care. Okay. K-Pro asked Mike if she could take out a retirement and then get to bridge their gap. And I said, sure, go for it. So in other words, we reached out and said, if your offer is this much, entity / Justin, and Packer Jack wants this much up here, what if we were to not Packer Jack, regular Jack, to Jack, if we were to bridge the gap so we meet that offer, and the answer, Packer Jack said no, Justin said no. It's based on principle. It's not about money. I think Justin could have really bought it if he really wanted to. It's based on principle. and he'd only pay what they originally verbally agreed to. And I kind of understand that. It just depends how bad you do want the treasure chest or not.
So let me break in here. Some of you make us big. Some of you are wondering why I'm emotional about it. This is part of the reason why. I didn't ask for any of this. I got roped in, and I was talking to my financial person saying, so I'll have to delay retirement just a little bit, but I really think this would be cool for the community, and this could help. And this, I mean, how much would this be? This affected, nobody asked that, but that affected me personally. I was psychologically invested into this. So if you wonder why I am a little worked up right now, this is all BS shenanigans now. And I was so hook, line, and sinker. I was talking to my financial person to try to make this deal for poor, rich Justin, who now just threw Packer Jack under a bus. All for what? Because you don't want to look like you're an idiot, but you're a fucking idiot.
All right, relax. We haven't hit the red button yet there, okay, apparently we have. All right, let's get through the rest of it. Then you can we're all going to give our opinion on it. So basically an offer was made to bridge the gap, and Justin said, no, it's based on principle. I'm only going to pay for what was originally verbally agreed to. Justin offers to buy only the unique items, i.e. the autobiography, and Jack declined. Jack said, match the offer. He's got to go with the other one, which is higher. And Justin said no. And Jack went silent. And I think he's been silent to this day. Is that correct? As far as we know.
Yes.
All right. So again, our opinion, K-Pro's opinion.
Carrie, follow along, my friend. I said I was going to help Justin with the small amount. Let's say it's $1 million, and it ended up being 1.1. I was going to come up with the 0.1 to try to bridge the gap. Justin could still be the hero and get all the attention and have everybody follow after him, and I could just help make it happen. It wasn't I don't have $1 million. I have a little bit that I could delay my retirement because this is fun. 2.0 was coming. We were all excited. I was duped like the rest of you. Okay, I'm gonna go
hang on. There's no dupe. Hang on. There's no dupe. If Justin's like, hang on.
Justin was a good person. That's what I was.
Hang on. All right, hang on. I got to say something here, and that is because Home Finder just says that Justin want partners. Justin did not want partners. Justin did not want to pay any more than he verbally agreed to, and that doesn't make Justin a bad person. That's not duping anybody. That's Justin saying on principle we had a deal. Jack found somebody else, and I'm not gonna buy it if it's not for the original amount. I don't fault him for that, and I don't fault Jack for getting a higher offer. I don't fault either one of them. It's just business.
I don't either. I don't mind Jack or Justin until Saturday night. That's what I have a problem with.
We haven't got there yet. Hang on, we haven't got there yet.
Okay.
All right. So,
and I could care less if you believe me. If you don't believe me, there's the door. Unsubscribe and go find a new hobby. I don't need you here. Go.
I think there's also context of the reason you went to your financial. It doesn't matter if Justin wanted to accept it or not to you at the end of the day. He would hope he did. He would. There were lines of communication here, and those lines of communication were severed and then retracted, and then lies came out. Right. So it's more than just I wanted to buy the chest and Justin said F off. It's
right.
There was communication, and then all of a sudden nothing, and then Justin goes, I was never part of this, where the people who were communicating with people like K-Pro said otherwise, and so she wouldn't have gone to her financial advisor if this was bullshit, which Justin is trying to claim it is, which of course we know it isn't. So I think that's all the convoluted mess here.
Doesn't K-Pro kind of look like Princess Leia in that outfit?
She needs to bun up the sides.
Those are the headphones.
Oh, the headphones.
Okay. I know. I like it. Just roll.
I'll be back. I need another drink. You better go fast.
Okay, now we're going to end of week 2. Justin got concerned. He admitted he was naive and not wise on how he handled this negotiations. Packer, Jack, and Justin spoke for over an hour on the phone. Justin involves Tyler in this situation. Reference the New York Magazine article if you don't know who Tyler is. Packer Jack offered a suggestion. Put a deadline to rescind Justin's offer by Saturday noon if he didn't respond, if Jack didn't respond. The offer expires. And 2, he needed to be given evidence of the legitimacy of the other offer. So I think Justin was like, oh, you have another offer, Jack. Well, you need to prove it to me somehow. Justin took the advice of Packer Jack. Tom, the lawyer, acknowledged the receipt of the message. Packer Jack suggests Harridan Auctions is holding the treasure chest. K-Pro calls and confirms it. In other words, when K-Pro called and said, hey, I'm interested in the Forrest Fenn treasure, they transfer her to somebody else and said, yeah, please hold. That person's out of the office, but you can leave a message. Justin confirms with Packer Jack the treasure chest is at Heritage Auctions in Dallas. Justin never hears back from Jack or his attorney again. And Packer Jack comes on and asks Jack to do the right thing. So again, maybe the information was leaked through Packer Jack to try and get Jack to do the right thing, but obviously it has backfired in a big way. So, for God's sake, give me a second. And then we go to the end of week 2. For anybody who doesn't know how it went down.
24 hours ago.
Yeah, 48 hours ago. Justin comes on Amy Seek's channel and stating he is not the entity. He has not been talking to Packer Jack. He has been stalked and his family has been harassed. Packer Jack comes on the Treasure Warriors, surprised yet sympathetic to Justin and Amy. Justin publishes an apology for giving Amy incorrect information about unfriending on Facebook of Packer Jack. And that was the first big mistake that Justin made. And that was that they gave out false information that Packer Jack had unfriended and blocked Justin on Facebook, which was not true. But if it was true, that sure puts the onus on Packer Jack to explain what the hell's going on. But that wasn't true. So now the onus is back on Justin to explain what the hell's going on, in my opinion. But here we go. K-Pro loses her mind. Justin publishes the apology. Okay. K-Pro loses her mind, even believing Justin over Packer Jack and Copper Dan. Okay, so picture this, everybody. When Justin first came on Amy Seeks, we believed him. We thought, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? If Justin's not the entity, what the hell is going on? Have we been lied to? So she sends a very nasty text to Copper Dan. And Copper Dan needs time to process it, but we get on the phone and they talk it out. K-Pro publicly apologizes to Copper Dan. I was wrong, K-Pro says. Screenshot it, everybody. K-Pro says she was wrong. Hang on. K-Pro says she was wrong, everybody. Copper Dan names Justin as the entity directly. Justin unfriends, blocks K-Pro and others, although that's not a shocker. Leaves the Cowlazars and Copper Dan's Facebook groups, remains friends with Copper Dan on Facebook, but unfriends me, meaning Mike, and that's fine. There is more that happened, more detailed, more tangents, but these are the relevant points. And I was Team Justin all along, even with our differences, but now I am opposer. So we have people in the community saying, no, Justin was the entity. Justin comes online and says, I'm not the entity. I don't know what you're talking about. So now it becomes who's telling the truth.
And Copper Dan flat out said on video, he is, and he talked to Justin and told Justin, stop effing lying to me. And Copper Dan had a statement that we're going to read at the end of this PowerPoint. And to be clear, Packer Jack has never named the entity as he always promised he would not. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I was going to say, and Rudy was asking, so what's the scandal here? I agree with the sentiment of, my God, this seems like silly stuff, or silly sauce, as I like to say. The problem here is the whole community was led astray, and it was led astray by a few sources, or it was led astray by the entity. So you either have sources who were lying or the entity who was lying. And we're saying sources now. And the context of this Copper Dan stuff, Copper Dan is saying that Justin is the entity. Justin is saying he's not. What's the scandal? The scandal is you have two people in this community that a lot of people, I guess, trust or look up to or whatever. And if one is going to be leading a treasure hunt in the future, I'd like to know if they're honest.
Well, and here's from my point of view. As soon as you brought Packer Jack into it to relay information to the community, you involved the community. It wasn't just a private thing between Jack and a lawyer and Justin and whoever else. Once information started to go out through Packer Jack, he was on our channel. He was on.
Kids. I got kids in the hallway right now.
I know. Okay. But yeah, once you involve the community, especially when you start saying, hey, there might be the treasure chest might be rehidden. There could be a Thrill the Chase 2.0. I mean, that involves everybody. Everybody's going to be concerned, right? And then when it falls apart, I'm not criticizing that it fell apart. That it happens. But then to come out and try and cover it up on what really happened and stuff, that's the part where people, maybe scandal's the wrong word, but there's a lot of people that have been rubbed the wrong way.
Can you put a Rudy's thing? How can you possibly resolve this question without Packer Jack naming the entity?
Okay, let me answer that in an interesting way.
There it is.
Mike, do you believe that you've received enough hard, direct evidence that Justin Posey is the entity? 100%.
Well, no. Yeah, Justin is the entity, everybody. That's all I can tell you. From everything I've seen, including the comparisons in this PowerPoint of what Justin said he was going to do.
No, I'm talking factual conversations and evidence that we can't divulge because people won't step up.
People behind the scenes even.
Yeah, people that I trust that are in the know have confirmed it, that yes, Justin was the entity, and I believe that Justin is the entity. Question I have is, why did he want Packer Jack to leak the info in the first place, and then why do you try and cover it up? If you blew the sale of Forrest Fenn's treasure chest, okay, it's not the end of the world. Just come out and say it. Just say, I tried to do something that didn't work.
This is only a big issue. It's only a big issue because now of the lies and things. This was so easy. And that's what Copper Dan said on Treasure Warriors. He was like, dude, just come out. It's not like you killed anybody. You blew it a little. But his need, in my opinion, just like GPS, it was obvious. There was entire articles and video of him saying he believed in GPS, but then he came on the Cowlazars Facebook page and said, I never believed in GPS. I think everyone has flaws. His flaw is he doesn't want to look silly or like he's ever wrong. He never wants to do what I said, which is I am wrong. He will do things like this rather than just say, I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
And some people are pointing out that Packer Jack is the one that asked to go public, and the entity said yes. And I think that is an important point. And
at the very beginning, yes. At the very beginning, yes. And then they were, yes.
Right. And that's fine. And if that caused the sale of the chest to change and not Justin not to get it, okay. I mean, it happens. You can blame
Cannon. That's a good point.
What's that?
JL Cannon. Justin wanted Packer Jack to inform the community to try to prevent Jack from backing out, but his strategy backfired. Yep.
Right.
Doesn't matter why.
I don't fault Jack, regular Jack, treasure chest.
Let me ask
as much money as he can. That's what he's wanted to do from the beginning. Go ahead.
Let me ask a two-part question, and if I get lost, help me out in getting back on track here. Packer Jack had 6 pages of notes, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that's not from a text message conversation. I'm going to assume that's from a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that phone call was over an hour long for 6 pages. There's a funny number in Lost. If you add up 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, you get the number 108. So
108 minutes. Yeah.
I'm just saying the 1 and 8 I'm just saying we have that. So we know Packer Jack spoke on the phone to entity. And then what we know is that Justin, when he came out to deny the fact that he was the entity, then lied and said, or had Amy say, he unfriended and blocked us. Why they brought up Packer Jack to begin with, who knows? Now, we know Justin then puts out a statement retracting that. I wonder who could have called him to say, you should retract that. I don't think it was a friend of Justin. I don't think it would be another searcher. Maybe it's the person he was lying about called him back. I'd like to know more about those notes, Packer Jack.
Copper Jack says, Copper Jack. Oh, sometimes I'm wrong too. Copper Dan with the $20 super chat says, I choose to see the good in everyone. We all have flaws. I agree with that. I don't think.
Copper Dan. Wait till the end of this show.
None your business says, with the $15 super chat says, the community appreciates your willingness to risk being wrong, K-Pro. And hey, it takes a big person to admit they're wrong. Are you listening, Justin? It takes a big person to admit when they're wrong. I agree with that too.
But here's the thing too.
I missed one. Hang on.
Okay.
Billy Shaw Jr. with the $5 super chat. Billy Shaw was a backer. He says, great job in the World Series of Poker tourney, Mike. Is it possible that the entity leaked the information because they got cold feet on the deal and wanted out?
Just retracted. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of interesting theories
here's the thing that I find puzzling.
Godelkin says, right, Copper Dan. Right.
Here's the thing I find puzzling.
Okay.
Two things. One, Packer Jack seemed genuinely surprised at the amount of hate that Justin was getting in that video. He alluded to that when he was on. Wouldn't that have been something he was talking all along the way and would have been a part of negotiations? Hey, Jack, we got to stop this because his partner is getting approached and his neighbors and this and that. It seemed rather odd that, one, Justin was surprised. Did he not know this community? And all the hate that happens? That's, I find, odd that he's surprised by it in such a way. And if his family was getting harassed, like he said, and I'm not going to discount anybody. If they say they're a victim, I feel bad for them. But wouldn't he have come out like an entire week or 10 days before that and say, guys, it's not me. My family's getting harassed. It's odd to me, right. Odd behavior that he let it go on that long, where his own mother was then getting, I don't know the dates of which days who was harassed. I just thought he would have come out way sooner if he was not. But is it because the treasure chest negotiations? And so he was okay as long as negotiations were going well that his family was being harassed? I don't know. That there's a separation of logic there for me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple different scenarios how they could play out, but hang on. We're not done with the PowerPoint yet, everybody. Let's go back.
No, we're not.
Remaining questions. Why was Packer Jack selected by Justin? We touched on that a little bit. Why did Justin allow and encourage public discussion prior to the treasure chest sale finalizing? Why would Justin lie so blatantly to the entire community? Is Amy involved or did she not know? I don't believe she knew, but that's just my opinion. Who is the second bidder? That's a good question. Who has the treasure chest been sold? That's an even better question. And has anyone heard from Jack? The community would really like to know if the treasure chest has been sold or if it is still at Heritage Auctions in Dallas. And the community would really like to know, are they going to have an opportunity to bid on it, right? Fripp with the $5 super chat. So it says, so does Justin have to wear the cone of shame like Tucker now? I would forgive Justin for everything if he did come on the show with the cone of shame on his head and give an apology. But that's just me.
You know what? He doesn't even need to apologize per se, because I know men have problems with that. All he needs to say is, this is all unfortunate. I'm a good person. I said some wrong things. I'm edgy. Let's move on. That's as easy as it could be. Here's the thing that also upsets me. When you try to drive someone out of the community, and Packer Jack has a business and a life and a family, I don't think he cares. There was a time that the only thing I had was this community. So for people to not care about their willingness to discard humans in this community, they're not good people. I'm not saying you're evil, predator, terrible, that level, but you just didn't do the right thing. Now do the right thing. And you're doing it repetitively to different people. It's not okay. Be better.
Well, to Rudy Green's point, I don't think it's a scandal. It's not a scandal. It's just us scratching our head going, why would somebody lie? It doesn't make sense why somebody would lie. We don't know. I still don't have the answer. Is it that embarrassing? If you blew the sale of the treasure chest, it's Jack that blew it. If you guys had a verbal handshake agreement, come out with it and say that. I don't think anybody would fault Justin for that.
There was a couple of reasons, and Mike was really the key one that got me to back off a little of, should we go live every night today? And he's like, no, and we have facts. We covered it last show, what happened. We covered it this show. It's going to be done after tonight. I can tell you that. It's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah, so what K-Pro just said is we're not going to go live and talk about it anymore. We put the information out. Community, you do with it what you want. But, yeah, there's nothing to talk about. It happened. What we're going to talk about is, will the treasure chest be up for bid? Has it already been sold? Who is the new buyer? That kind of stuff. But as far as Packer Jack and the entity, it happened. We're not really sure why it happened, and we just move on. It's not the end of the world. And even now, people could come out and make it right, in my opinion, and just all say, yeah, I screwed up. Everybody screws up. Everybody's got flaws. And speaking of flaws, here's Copper Dan's statement. Sorry, Dan. Here is Copper Dan's statement.
And remember, Copper Dan's the one that last night said, it's Justin, stop effing lying, and told me to hit the red button hard. No offense, Copper Dan. I'm okay with the stance you're taking. But I'm a little disappointed in both you and Packer Jack at this point, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I am okay. Will I get over it? Is it horrible? No. But did you take an abrupt hard left? Did you take an abrupt change all of a sudden this afternoon? I have some theories on that. I'll hold on to that. But go ahead. Read the.
you guys see that the conspiracy theory bridge is in the background, and our friend Eric in Korea points it out and says, what if it's all misdirection and Justin now owns the treasure chest? Could it be that Justin did buy the treasure chest and realizes, oh crap, I don't want people to know it, so he just denies being the entity, denies everything, but really he did buy it? I mean, there's so many what ifs we could play with if we really wanted to.
And you know what this showed me? He would not be a person I would participate in his hunt.
Yeah.
This is why it needs to come out, because if he now owns it, I'm okay with him owning it. I'm okay with him he can burn it. He can do a treasure hunt, but people need to know the shenanigans they're going to be involved in. Oh, I met with Packer Jack, or I met with Jack in an airport. Oh, nope, wasn't me. I set it up. That means Amy had to be involved. That would be a person I would choose. I don't care if it's $10 million.
Our friend Claude says, how does Copper Dan know Justin is the entity? Well, only Copper Dan can speak to that. And I'm leaving that up to
he said last night he talked to him.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear that part, but okay.
Him being Justin. He said, I told Justin he needs to effing not lie to me or something like. He talks to Justin. He's friends with Justin.
And I want to make something clear, too. And this is without speaking to Copper Dan, but I'm sure he wouldn't disagree with what I say. Copper Dan said what he said, and I said, okay, man, it seems like there's a lot going on. Hold back, don't say anything you'll regret, shit like that. Like nobody, I don't know what he means by under emotional distress, but distress is a strange word to use. What's causing the distress here? That sounds like legal jargon for the statement I made isn't accurate because I was under distress.
And
let's read the statement first. Let's read the statement first so you guys know what we're talking about.
Copper Dan can speak for himself. He has his own YouTube channel. He's welcome to come on ours or yours, I'm sure. But here, he did give us a
going live after. He's welcome to come on.
And this is Copper Dan's statement, everybody. To the search community, I have tried to hold myself to the highest standards. My word is my bond, and a secret made is a debt unpaid are mottos I live by. Last night, I made an error in good judgment and spoke while under emotional distress. I was clearly upset and frankly confused. I want to be clear. I have no ill will towards anyone in the chase and do not wish to attack anyone's character. The happenings of the last week have left many people confused and looking for answers, and right now I do not have them. I continue to be confused about this situation, but have decided it best to let it go and move on. I am afraid of this moving into my personal and family life. There are just so many more important things going on right now. My involvement in all of this was that I am a close friend with John Limbach, a.k.a. Packer Jack. John confided in me much of the statements he released to the community. He looked to me for guidance, and together we tried to make sense of all of it. It is in my opinion that Packer Jack is a man that holds himself to the highest standards of integrity. I am proud to call him my friend, Copper Dan. But wait, there's a PS. There's still 29 numbered coins remaining. As of the writing of this statement, no one has retrieved the troll's cash. I had made a deal a week ago that if anyone could retrieve the cash within 1 week, there would be a bonus prize. That time has now expired. I have a Fenn Aerosmith bronze statue. It was given to me by a friend that asked me to do something special with it. That friend has asked to stay anonymous. Uh-oh, you just open up a can of worms. I will come up with another way to see it on its way. So thank you for the statement, Copper Dan. He's just letting it go, basically. And I agree with that. We all have our own opinion to make, don't we? Was that it for the PowerPoint?
I don't know. Go to the next slide, I think.
Then the conclusion of a red shiny. Anybody remember Ren and Stimpy? The red shiny candy-like button? There it is.
You idiot.
You guys make your own decisions. We have just put our opinions and then what people have said in various YouTube shows. The biggest part is related to the treasure chest for me. Where's the treasure chest at? Is it being sold? Will people have a chance to bid on it?
No, it's not over. No. Can you make me okay? Ben and Mike, you're not here right now. And let's see, there's 383 people in chat. 382 of you. Can you please look away for a second? Put me big, Mike.
Can I do that? You mean like that?
No, just me. Can you do just me?
I don't think I can do that. No.
That's too bad. Yeah.
I can do. No, I can't. Just do that.
Okay. So I don't have a prepared statement, and if I do get mad, I'm going to walk away from this. But it's interesting when something like this happens. There's unintended consequences. Unintended consequences of information, why there might be abrupt changes from individuals that I think are good people. I'm going to tell you, I did flat out not believe Copper Dan at first and then believe Justin. And then last night, he said all that stuff, and now he's retracted. So then I start to think, why would there be such a retraction when Copper Dan last night was saying, hit that button? He sent me a text this morning, said, I'm coming on the show. We're gonna do this. And then we get, a statement like that. So then I wondered, is that meeting where Forrest Fenn goes over the 9 clues on video, is he worried that Justin, who set up that meeting, he's not going to get invited to? Is he worried about not seeing Forrest go over the 9 clues? Or is he more worried that after he met with Jack in the airport and Jack went over several of the clues and interpreted them, and he called Justin and told him that maybe he's worried that Justin is going to out that he got secret information from Jack and interpreted more than one of the clues? And do I know the clues and the interpretations that were made? Yeah. Then I wondered, so is everybody dirty in this chase? Or did he do it for a good reason? He just wants to take the higher ground like he said in his statement? Or is it because he got secret information from Jack, or the secret meeting about, Forrest Fenn and the video going over the 9 clues, the only one that had enough money to buy people off to go see it, to have the meetup in North Santa Fe? He was invited. Are you worried you're not going to get invited? If you want to take the higher ground, take the higher ground, but don't do it just because you are worried about somebody blackmailing you of the secret information you have, or the secret meeting where Forrest Fenn goes over the 9 clues. That's what upsets me right now. They're both, nobody's good. Everybody sucks except for you, Mike. Everybody sucks.
Even Ben.